are certain athletic programs in the state of Kentucky that when you hear the name, you just think of greatness. One of those is Louisville Trinity, the Shamrocks. My guest today has a big hand, especially in the wrestling world, of making sure that the Trinity brand was a team you did not want to wrestle, a school you did not want to have to come to your dual meets or your tournaments. I'm here today with Bo Hoffman, the 189-pound state champion from 2000. Bo, thank you for inviting me into your home.
Appreciate you coming.
I'm here in Bo's house. He was nice enough to invite me down today, do the video. And if you hear some kids running around, it's fine. That's part of it. Bo, I think, is trying to start his own wrestling team. I think he's got 4 so far. 10 more to go, Bo. You got your own team.
I think she wants at least 1 or 2 more.
And so here we go. Who have you got with us?
This is Ripken.
Ripken? Hi, Rip. Now, have you ever seen Dad wrestle? Probably not,
No.
have you? Well, today, of course, we got Bo's video. We're going to watch it. But first, tell us, how did wrestling find you? How did you find wrestling?
My dad didn't know much about wrestling growing up. He was a basketball guy, but my mom's the 9th of 11 kids, so I had 5 brothers, and they were all wrestlers, and kind of one of them was coaching Tulsa Comets, junior Comets out in Oklahoma, where I was born, and I got started doing that when I was 4 years old.
So you've been since 4 years old?
Yeah.
Wow. Now, you, of course, you win in 2000. Had you placed in state before? Had you had any like that level competition before you made it to the state finals? Or?
So the year before, I just transferred here from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I wasn't in Kentucky freshman year, and I shattered my thumb in the district or region sophomore year. So I was in a cast for the state tournament sophomore year.
It's wrestlers are tough. What can we say?
Yep.
Now, as always, we go over the bracket, go over the bouts. I usually have a paper copy, but you have the original bracket here. Let me get the camera so you can see it. And this was a gift from...
My mom framed that up. Actually, just gave it to me a couple months ago. She found it up in the attic when she was moving.
That's awesome. Now, that's why I love getting like my hands on, getting the memorabilia out there that people see. The first round in the 189-pound weight class of 2000, you wrestle somebody that's already been on the channel, and he actually wins the state championship in 2001, 189 pounds. Josh Muncie of Sheldon Clark High School. And I'm going to let you be the one that says how that match ended.
I think it says fall 5 minutes and 27 seconds.
So a lot can change in a year, though.
A lot changes in a year. Josh is a good dude. He wrestles with a lot of heart.
Yep.
And he was always coming forward.
Now, one thing about Trinity is I remember when I wrestled in the early 99, 2000, early 2000s, is that Trinity would come and actually stay with guys from Sheldon Clark. And there's some stories that we can't tell about some Trinity Sheldon Clark connections.
We'll keep those to ourselves.
Yeah, those will be for an uncensored off YouTube type video. But it was always good to see Trinity come to the mountains. That's where I'm from. I think everybody knows that. But to see the Louisville school come to the mountains, come to the tournament. I think it was the AMVETS, if I'm not mistaken, like the right before districts and regions right there in that first February. So you wrestle Josh Muncie. The quarterfinals, you wrestle Eric Pike of...
He was Union
County.
So he was right there. It was Trowbridge, King, Pike.
Yeah.
And Eric had actually beaten me earlier in the year, back in December.
No kidding. You talk about a heck of a lineup right there in those middle weights. You had Monk, George, and then I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
So you win a 4-1 decision. Then you wrestle Jason Shoemaker from LaRue County. Says you win that in 57 seconds.
I was pumped up.
I can imagine.
Good being in the winners brackets. Got a good night's sleep. All my buddies from school and everything had just shown up. Like they were speeding to get there in the morning to watch this match.
Right.
They showed up in the video of that. They're actually all in like the front row, and I was hyped. That was all adrenaline.
Oh,
right
I can imagine. There's one thing about the dungeon, as opposed to the horse park and what we have now in the high schools. is the fans, like you were literally like almost on the floor, like on the mat.
Great.
And that's something that, you know, I have my own opinions on that, but we need to find a venue where we can have that type of fan participation. So you get to the finals, you're wrestling Luke. Help me with the last name.
I always said Panuski, Luke Newski.
If you're from
Say
Hoptown, make sure we say it right. Send me a message. Put it in the comments. We don't want to, you know, say his name wrong. But P-N-I-E-W-S-K-I, Peninsky.
Yeah.
Puninsky. From Hoptown. Had you wrestled him before?
We had not met. No, I actually hadn't wrestled either of the guys on the other side. Wilkinson or Luke. John was ranked number 1 that year, most of the year.
Wow.
And
Josh Wilkinson from Henry Clay?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you win the semifinals by a pin, you're pumped up. What do you do in those 4 to 6 hours in between, like when you win and the face-off and the finals? What are we doing?
I remember coming off of that mat and I sprinted up into the stands, gave my parents a big hug.
Right.
It's kind of emotional just thinking about that. The work that goes in.
Oh, yeah.
Off season, all the years growing up.
I can
it's
imagine,
unparalleled.
man.
It's there's the respect of guys that wrestle at that level.
Exactly.
And, the commitment and dedication, the willpower that you know that they have.
Exactly.
There's a mutual respect for that.
Of course, and that's why I love doing it. It's for the stories. A 57-second pin in the semifinals. I mean, you've done something. If you pin somebody in the semifinals, unless you're George King, I'm kidding, George. You know we love you. You pin somebody in 57 seconds in the semifinals. I mean, you're on a mission. You are emotionally charged. You're on a mission. Nobody's taking this from me. Now, have you seen your video, your state championship video, in a while? How long has it been, do you think?
It's probably I probably hadn't seen it since 4 or 5.
So it's been
a minute.
Been a couple years, couple days have gone by. Do you have like any? I'm sure you remember the match, but are you looking to see anything like you have a certain scenario playing out in your head, and maybe it may be different on video, or is there anything like that that's sticking out to you?
I was on my back. I don't remember how long I was there, but it might have been. It felt like about a year, and I remember being embarrassed. That was getting off my back and getting out of the first period, going into the second period. I was embarrassed and I was ready to win.
Well, sometimes that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Now, we're gonna the kids that will. We're going to let the kids watch it with him because we want them to watch Dad wrestle. I think that's a cool part about doing this is seeing Dad. Hey, George has one of my favorite lines of the whole series, George King. Maybe not now, but at one time Dad could do it.
Yes, George could definitely do it. And I was thinking back when you had first reached out to me and I saw George's video and I'm running across the back there and I remember cussing George out in my head. He was coming off. He didn't know anything about. It was your teammate. He was wrestling.
Yep, Billy Keith.
And he's asking me. He's like, "Man, I've never seen him wrestle. You know, is he any good?" I'm like, "George, I don't know much about him. I've seen him like once because I think we had just seen you guys up in Sheldon Clark." And I was like, "I'm not worried about you, but can you at least make it into the second period? Let me shake some of these nerves." He walks out and pins the guy the first minute.
Yeah, I think it was 49 seconds, so you didn't have much of a buffer.
Yeah.
I can see George just doing that just to get at you.
Probably.
I'm gonna pin. I'm gonna get a win in less than a minute.
Yeah.
Follow that, big boy. Yeah. But we're gonna watch this and let the kids see Dad wrestle. The ones that I guess will enjoy it. Now, before we get to that, though. We know that the Trinity tradition runs deep. Kind of give us the I don't want to say Reader's Digest version, but just a brief. What does it mean to come out wearing that shamrock, that Trinity tee?
Trinity is a special place as far as a school. Mm-hmm. There is a brotherhood, a sense of family, a sense of love. I'm still great friends with everybody that I hung out with and that went through all that with me. It's a special place.
I can imagine. I know I feel the same kinship about the my entire community where I live in Johnson County, but it seems like there are certain schools, Trinity, St. X, I know I know they're your rival, but you guys seem to parallel each other on like how close you are, whether you are like state football finals. You're always going to see grandparents or granddads, dads, sons, future kids wearing the Letterman jacket, state championship rings, always there supporting and that's what I love about being able to get with the Trinities, the St. X's, the people that I don't get to see a whole lot and just hear their story. So enough of us talking. Let's watch this match. Now, when you win the state championship, you get all kind of cool hardware. Like this trophy here. Bo, kind of tell us a little bit about the trophy.
Coach Rudolph got me that, presented it to me at the awards banquet. And
Pretty cool.
I keep it out on display still to this day. It means a lot to me.
Now you've got something on your hand. Oh, we got little ones. That's
Watch
all
out,
right.
boys.
It's all right. We got the crew running around. You got something on your hand. What is it?
The parents, teammates, boosters, all got together and got me a state championship ring. And I had no idea it was coming. It was a great surprise.
That's awesome.
And I carry it and keep it with me here still to this day.
That
It's got a couple of stories. Late nights, I've lost this a couple of times, and it's always made its way back to me twice.
It's you're meant to have it. The universe is saying, hey, you earn this. You're meant to keep it.
Yeah.
So that was cool. Bo brought those out, and I thought those needed their own portion of the video because having that ring forever. I'm sure you're probably gonna pass it down to the kids at some point.
Absolutely. They
can say, hey, now they got the video of Dad wrestling. They got the interview of Dad wrestling, Granddad wrestling. Hey, we need to follow in his footsteps. All right, let's watch the video. All right, we're here at the Farnham Dungeon Center. You guys are seeing what we're seeing. Bo's had some of the kids join us. I love doing this right here just so the kids can see, man.
Yeah. You haven't seen me wrestle before,
I
have
love
you?
this.
No, first time.
So you're under the lights, and I love matches like this because you're in a green singlet. He's in a orange singlet. It's so much easier for referees when you got color-coded singlets. So
yeah, I don't know that Coach knew. I pulled that out of the closet. Trey Wolverton was in the finals a couple times here before, and I think his mom had made those.
It's a
and,
slick.
and left them up. So I snuck those out of the closet.
All right. So here we go, under the lights. Had you ever wrestled under the lights before?
Yeah, so coming from Pennsylvania, any finals match there was always a face-off for the tournaments. And,
I got you.
And the Wednesday night dual meet was always just like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. See,
awesome.
I did not know that. All right, here we go. Let's do this. So what's your go-to takedown here?
I was usually in on a double high crotch, but sweep single.
Right.
Or I was tying up the head, front headlock, something to that.
Right.
And there you go, on the front headlock, and I remember that's actually what I pinned with a headlock like that. Is how I pinned Shoemaker.
Oh, is it really?
In the semifinal. So he flipped me there. I got in trouble and kind of hanging on for dear life there.
Right.
And got in, got the two.
Yep, got the two, got the takedown, all right.
Now, I knew that he did the little clamp on the arm and roll. And I was ready for it the whole time. I can't believe he caught me with it. Coming up here in a little bit, and how he ended up with the reversal and the 3 points. But near fall.
Oh. Now, is this the first set of backs you give up all year?
I don't know, but I wasn't on my back much. I know that. I didn't sleep on my back. I didn't rest on my back since I was 4 years old. I'm still uncomfortable laying on my back.
And that's one thing that Muncie, when he's talking about his win, he's like, you got beat. We'll talk about that just in a second. But he said you were absolute brute. That probably the strongest guy in the whole weight class.
I worked on that. I was up early in the weight room and
Right.
late in the weight room most of my life. Watch out, buddy.
So what's your go-to stand-up?
I knew that he was probably going to try and come in and throw some legs
Right.
because obviously he just did, and I knew from watching. So I usually like hitting a switch or just a inside leg stand up, just bust out and run.
Right. So the period ends. Do you remember? Did he defer? Did you take down?
Yeah, I took down.
Okay.
And I knew he was going to come, and I dropped my elbow into my hip and catch the leg,
Yep.
come out the back.
Oh, there it goes.
As soon as he went to put that leg in, that he had shown, I buried my elbow right in my hip and caught it. So at this point, I'm embarrassed, I'm upset,
Right.
and we're getting back points.
Why are you doing that? Punching me?
You guys, as tough as you are now, you guys are going to grow up and be animals.
Oh yeah. Watch out, buddy.
All right. I think we call a stalemate. Yep.
yeah.
Dad!
So I think here I start working on the crossface, on the cradles series. Try going for the roll again.
I need to get out of here.
You want out?
All right. There we go. There you. Was that? Oh yeah.
Just kind of folding them again.
Getting a set of near falls.
I definitely liked my cradles and was strong enough to back it up. I worked the crossface series a lot on top.
Now,
He's trying to roll
I'll say
again.
try for that Peterson, I
he's trying to
believe,
roll
isn't he?
again, yeah.
You remember like your coach yelling anything out to you? You remember like any like your parents or former like current wrestlers with you?
You know, I don't remember hearing much of anything except when he took down. I went over and showed Coach optional, and he said, "You better get the takedown." I remember that, and I didn't have any intentions of letting him up. I just wanted to come down heavy.
I got you.
One time to come into this. Now
There
he
you
does
go.
a good job here catching my feet,
Yep.
and I got almost. I had to scoot my lower hip out to make sure he didn't end up with two after those near falls.
Right.
But I got two more near falls, so I think right here it's 9-5.
Yeah, it's.
He had 5,
I believe it's somewhere close to.
so I had to take down 3 near fall, maybe 7.
Yeah.
This is the reversal. Takedown reversal, 3 near fall, 2 near fall, 9. So 9-5. Yeah.
9-5. I think the bottom must make up bang for stalling.
I don't remember, but I remember working on that arm, and I kept the wrist and just kept the wrist and wasn't gonna let him up.
Yep.
It hit me.
Oh. Got a caution. Anxious, man. I feel
Yeah.
you. I understand. Head lever. You guys are some big 189s. Just big bodied.
Yeah, I keep thinking, looking back and seeing all these little guys, and you know, I'm in the heavyweight realm these days, but there is I threw a leg in
Yep.
there. I remember I was going over if I hadn't laced that leg. But Luke was strong. He had a motor. He kept going. And we got short time here. I think there was a second left, and it was time to celebrate. So 9-6.
9-6, the final. 2000 state champion, man.
You got your bat out?
We got a baseball bat.
All right.
Hand raised.
It's a sword now.
Go over and shake the opposing coach's hands. And you run. And I wish the camera would have shown you running up.
I jumped on Coach Rudolph, and he always said, "Man, I thought you were about to come over and just wreck my knees."
Take you out, huh? Do a Goldberg spear.
Come here, buddy. I'll put it in your bag.
The watching it now, looking back on it, all this time has passed. 22 seasons. Anything jarred? Anything about this year of wrestling that was just like, man, you look back on it, what is the one moment that stands out?
I mean, that's it. That was what I was after. I remember driving home from practice every day and envisioning running over and jumping into Coach's arms and tackling him and having my hand raised. That's what it was all about. The early morning, I remember getting up early and going in, doing takedowns. Morgan Nelson coming in, doing takedowns with me at 5 a.m. before school would start. And
right.
I'd be running when I thought everybody else was sleeping. They're not running, I am.
Right.
So
Well, and it paid off.
that's the work that you got to put in. I remember the losses a lot more than the wins. They hurt more, and the wins are sweet, but that's what we worked for. The losses were hard to deal with.
Now, earlier in the video, we alluded to 2001,
Yeah.
third place. If you want to kind of briefly tell that story, because I'm building to something.
Yeah. So Josh Muncie that I beat in the first round this year ended up winning in state championship. We had wrestled once earlier in the year, and I think I pinned him in the second period or something. Caught him with a switch and just bulldozer. And but he was all heart, all engine, and kept coming forward. But I got caught in the quarterfinals that year against Charlie Scruggs. Just a tall, lanky, and he was another strong guy, but he was tough to wrestle. Those tall guys are tough to wrestle for me.
So here's what I'm thinking. I've done the video with Josh, 2001, 189 pounds. I've done the video with you. What if we set up a Josh Muncie versus Bo Hoffman 20-some years later pay-per-view match? How would that sound?
I'd be down with that.
All right,
it's always
Josh,
fun to wrestle.
Josh, we think you have some access to some mats. Maybe we can set something up. I don't know, do it for charity or something.
Sure. I love to roll around and wrestle, and as long as we can try to keep our shoulders still in the socket,
shoulders,
we'll be
knees,
just fine.
hips, everything else in the world. Well, Bo, man, thank you for inviting me into your home with your family. I really appreciate this, taking the time to do the video. Any closing thoughts before we put a bow on this one and wrap it up?
I love what you're doing here, putting these together, commemorating them, putting them online for forever. For, like you said, my kids to be able to see later, their kids. Hopefully, this platform stays up and is still there and available. And it's good seeing all the other guys and hearing their stories. And so I'm watching closely, and it's a good. The wrestling community's like no other, and like I alluded to, just the understanding and mutual respect of somebody that's put those hours in.
And I will end it with this on that that's a perfect note. If you've not seen Chris Floyd's 1999 video, go watch the video, but watch to the entire end. Chris gives a very heartfelt speech about how when we're competing, we need to compete as hard as we can against each other. But when the competition's over, when we're outside the lines, the rivalries need to end as far as the wrestling community goes. If you've not watched it, Chris says it better than I do. You need to go watch it. I can't do it justice, but you need to go listen to Chris and hear the tone of his voice and the passion he gives in that speech. that's all we got from Louisville. On what part of Louisville are we in? I'm not even sure.
We're in St. Matthews, Broadfields.
Okay, we're in St. Matthews. That's all I've got for St. Matthews. I'm going to hit the mall up, check some things out. Until then, we'll see you guys on the mats.
Shout out practice partner Jaime Montalvo, all my teammates. Love you guys.
Be easy.